Hello, and welcome to our next Businestry building teaching. So we are reinforcing the fact that a businessry is a business that expresses itself in service by administrating the person's gifts, talents, strengths, and abilities as God originally designed them to operate, becoming both their business and their ministry to the people. So in this teaching, we are going to dive into more of the operations around building a business tree. We'll touch on why a business tree needs to be solutions driven, the 4 levels of operations in a business tree in the organization, what I call the 5-star team according to biblical principles, and then the power players and money makers of a business tree. So being a solutions-based business tree, basically any business tree primarily needs to be solutions focused. They are the answer to somebody's problem, right? That is why the Lord even has us here on earth. So being solutions driven means that one is focused on finding and implementing solutions to problems or challenges in the world. It involves proactively seeking ways to address issues, improve processes, and outcomes. So a solutions driven business tree is focused on finding the most effective and efficient way to resolve some problem and to create value for those that they serve. They are able to identify problems, analyze the available options, choose the best course of action. They're also willing to take risks and try new approaches in order to find the most effective solution. So being solutions driven requires a combination of critical thinking and problem solving skills and the ability to think creatively and outside of the box. As Dave has been teaching in the masculinity and synergy areas, being able to hear prophetically, right? I would say this is equally as important as all of these skills to be a solutions-based business tree. So the other thing is you have to develop a positive mindset in order to have a possibility mindset develop within you before you are ever going to really find effective solutions and be that solutions-based business. So I have this quote up here from Einstein that I always think is really funny, and it's been applied in a number of different ways, but stay away from negative people because they have a problem for every solution. So don't be one of those. Okay, diving into what I call the 4 levels of operations of a business tree. So business tree operations. We've got ideation, communication, management, and implementation. So today I want to introduce the 4 levels of these business tree operations. We're not going to be diving deep into these things yet, but hopefully I'm whetting your appetite to learn more about it. So ideation is the first level of business operations, and it involves the generation of new ideas and concepts. This is an essential step in developing any business tree, as it allows you to identify opportunities, create innovative solutions to problems, etc. The second position is the communication position. Communication involves exchanging information and ideas between individuals and teams. Effective communication, which is totally different than just communication, right? Effective communication is crucial for the success of any businessry, and it allows for clear and concise communication of goals, expectations, feedback, etc. Management is the third level of business operations. It involves the coordination and supervision of resources in order to achieve the specific goals. This includes tasks like, planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Effective management is essential for the smooth and efficient operation of any businessry. Love the managers. Implementation is the fourth and final level of business operations. It involves the execution of the plans and the strategies in order to achieve specific goals. So this requires careful planning, coordination, the ability to adapt into changing circumstances, right? To overcome challenges. Overall, the four levels of businessry operations, ideation, communication, management, and implementation, are all like uber essential for the success of any businessry. And you can create and sustain a thriving and successful organization by effectively navigating and positioning these levels. So hopefully that's got you kind of thinking. So we're going to go a little bit deeper here. This is what I talk about in regards to the 5-star team and some of the downloads that the Lord was giving me around this. So as you're looking at developing your businessry leadership team according to the 5-fold model, I overlay this with the DISC and team dimensions profile just to get it even more rich. And this is what I've coined the 5-star leadership team. So I'm going to show you how these are not exclusive. The 5-fold is not exclusive to church leadership, but businessry leadership as well. Also, I'm going to say not everyone fits neatly in these categories all the time, so don't get hung up on that. This is just a model. It's not a law, okay? So I just want to kind of show you and get your creative ideas going in your head. So I also like to model this out like the body, right? With Jesus being the head of our businessry. So the apostle as the shoulders, as they typically carry the heavy load of the functions. These people are typically your visionaries and creators, the ideators, as we were just talking about. They provide the inspiration and equip others to continually take new ground while expanding and enriching the current territory. You'll often find apostolic goodness gracious, my tongue. Apostolic leaders to be fairly balanced in speed, but they tend towards being big picture, goal motivated people. The prophet, the eyes and the ears of the body, and the communications or comms expert, they equip and develop others to continually receive inspiration and then learn how to engineer that inspiration into practical direction and application. Oftentimes, these leaders are quite fast-paced, kind of get-her-done types. They'll often be balanced actually in motivation between goal and relations. But if they're not careful, their fast pace can be misinterpreted as not relational. It's not really true, but that's how it can be interpreted. The apostle and the prophet connect between that creator profile. And then we move on to the evangelist, which is the voice of the body, the PR, the media expert. They empower others to carry and deliver an impactful brand message to give voice to the culture of the businessry. So you'll find the evangelist predominantly relationally motivated, often fairly balanced in speed, like moving and grooving 1 minute, but they're really good at stopping and slowing for the one. The evangelist connects with the prophet under the advancer profile and with the teacher under the executor profile, which moves us on to the teacher, the hands and feet in the body, the HR person for skill development. They provide a foundation of instruction and help to create opportunities for personal as well as business-tree growth. You'll find this leader primarily methodical in their approach, but pretty balanced in motivation. They'll work between the executor, refiner profiles connecting with the pastor. So the pastor is really the heart of the body, and the HR person for culture development. They provide oversight and nurture for culture development, demonstrating fathering and mothering to the business tree. Now, you will typically find this leader profile to be fairly methodical in their approach, but not really as relational focused as most people try to categorize them. They are relational, but it's more about the care of the whole, the culture, the group, which actually makes them a little more goal-oriented than what most people make assumptions around. So that is that 5-star leadership team development, how you can take the fivefold church model, overlay it into your business tree. And you might not have all 5 people actually on your team. Sometimes you have to outsource for that. That's totally fine too. But it really does become a very holistic model that is super beneficial and healthy. So what I want to end here is with the power players and money makers. So the ideator and communicator are 2 of the most important positions within a company's operational management. These individuals are responsible for generating the new ideas, concepts, and communicating effectively with employees or other stakeholders. Without strong ideation and communication, business is likely going to struggle with any kind of innovation or productivity or, really staying in the game with competitors. The ideator is responsible for identifying those new opportunities, those innovative solutions, staying on top of the game. They're the ones that get those amazing downloads. This requires a combination of creativity, strategic thinking, the ability to see the bigger picture. The ideator is the driving force behind a company's growth and success. Like I said, being able to stay ahead or at the very least in line, with the competition. I want to bring something home for you here. Ideation time, you guys, is so critical in your life. I don't really care what you're doing. Maybe you don't have a business tree, but you are definitely leading your household, your family, at the very least yourself. So I want to encourage all of you to set aside time every single week for ideation. Whether you have a business tree, you have a ministry, you are just running your house as your, domestic CEO, however you're doing it. This is not only going to tap into that feminine energy development as kind of like journaling, ideating, developing that intuition, but it's also closely tied to that prophetic development that Dave has been talking about as far as that requirement to be a king or a queen. So you want to open that up, make space, hold space for that time for God to drop on you these amazing things into your sanctified imagination. So, so, so important. Which moves us into the communicator who ensures that that information, the ideas are effectively exchanged within the business tree or whatever organization, within your family even. This includes tasks like communicating goals, expectation, providing feedback, fostering a positive and collaborative culture. Effective communication is essential for smooth operation of any business. It's crucial for maintaining strong relationships, whether it's, like I said, within your family, within employees, with, contractors, stakeholders, customers, whatever. Communication is so important. So it's really no surprise that these two positions are pretty consistently, typically the highest paid positions in any organization. The ideator who spends time ideating, you guys, that is not wasting time in daydreaming. I really want to hammer that home. The ideator and the communicator are integral to the success of any organization, and their skills and expertise are invaluable. So without strong ideation and communication, companies going to struggle, like I said, with any kind of innovation or productivity. On the other hand, the companies that don't have that, you're going to see them falling behind and getting stagnant and dull, and employees not wanting to stay because they're getting bored, and all that other kind of stuff. So you can totally meld these two positions, the ideator, the communicator, the apostle, a prophet, the visionary, and the comms expert, within your marriage, right? Identify which one of us is more the ideator and visionary, which one of us is better at the communications, and start developing those skills as a team, because what we're all about here is developing power couples. So you can't get two more powerful positions than these two and link them together. So that is all for today's teaching on Businestry building. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us at hello@powercouplehub.com, and we will get back to you. Until then, we'll talk to you next time.